Welcome to the Beauties Podcast, where we talk about everything you need to know about women's sports. From the grassroots to the pros, we got it all.
Today on the show, we talk about the WNBA Finals, Iga Switeck at the US Open, and the PWHPA announcement.
Here are your hosts, Addie and Cowie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Beauties Sports Desk. And the Beauties Sports Desk has got a little extra
swaggy
today. For the people watching us on YouTube, we've got our incredible Beauty Yetis coolers. Cozies?
Yeah, I don't know. They probably have like a legit Yeti name.
I was just going to say probably, but yes, this is a new edition. We are super excited. Thank you very, very much for the gift. It is amazing.
Yeah, these are wicked. You know, it was funny because it was like, I see that you guys drink random beers, but you just always drink the random beers.
Yeah.
I was like, well, isn't that the point?
Yeah, we're just
drinking. A Rambler Coolster.
Oh, there she be.
Look at that. Yeah, so thank you very much for the gift. It is very much appreciated. We now only, by judging by this, we can only buy king cans or king cans, tall cans.
That was clearly an indication.
By design, probably.
By design. I love it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, you posted on Instagram, like, what do you guys want to see from Beauties? What kind of merch do you want? And this is a cool addition. Do people want a Beauties Yeti? You know, Yeti's one of those things. When you get one, you need 10.
Totally.
Because they've got all the sizes.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I got a tall can one, so now I need a short can one. Then I need the wine one, even though I don't drink wine. Mm-hmm. But my mom might come over and she drinks wine.
And then you got to have the coffee one. And then you got to have the coffee mug. But for tea, it fits everything.
That's right. And
then you got to have the one that's like an actual mug.
Yeah, and then you know me, I cart around that 1.4 liter.
That's right. Then you need your...
Everyone likes it. I love to drink water, and I hate to refill it. Mm-hmm. So I bought the obnoxious one. That is, you know what, I will say, when I travel in my truck, I think, why the hell is this the size I purchased? Mm-hmm. Fits in no cup holder, annoys me because I'll set it on the seat beside me, and then it falls over, and then when I stop, boop, it's on the floor, then I gotta pull over, gotta get my water. It's a dumb decision on my part, but I love that thing.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's awesome. But I love it. Then you can put it in your cooler when you get your Yeti cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like they've got it top to bottom. They just did it right, Yetis.
And when people, here's the one thing I will say, because I'm usually not much for someone who chases a name brand, really don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. I'm the person who will buy t-shirts at Walmart and throw them out when they're done. Don't care.
That's right.
Yeti actually is worth your money.
Yeah, that's right. We are not sponsored by Yeti. This is not a promotion for Yeti. We just like them a lot. Yeah, I agree with you. I use a Yeti mug every single day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Right? Keeps your hot drink hot. Keeps my cold drinks cold. And worth the spend. But also, like we said, thank you for the gift. Super, super nice.
Super thoughtful. Yeah. Amazing. And so, which also does spur... You know, a question that we did toss out onto social media. What do you want to see? You know, I had a couple people stop me the other day looking for one of those pullovers, like the windbreaker pullover stuff. Think it'd be cool to have black and then teal on top. And I'm like, that would be cool.
Oh, like a little retro throwback.
Yeah, a little throwback.
I like that.
And then the vintage tee I got too.
Yeah, okay.
Vintage tee, light hoodie. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Just get her done.
It's so funny what appeals to certain, and seasonally too. We asked that question in the winter, you're going to get an entirely different answer.
That's right. That's right.
I love that vintage throwback vibe. Maybe that is something we should chase.
Yeah. Oh, and like your peg hat.
Oh, I see. Like with the rate, do they like the, I don't know if you guys can tell. I guess obviously if you're listening to us, you don't know. So I rock this peg hat every episode, or one of them. I own two. A local Winnipeg company. And the embroidery is like raised. I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah. Oh, you betcha. Yeah. No, definitely raised with they said this was their breakdown.
Okay.
Black, teal under, like where your red is under the brim. And then on top, no circle, no 2021 established, just beauties at a diagonal.
Okay.
Just clean.
That is like very
crisp.
precise.
It was. And I said, I guess
obviously.
we're at least making one for you because you have thought about this in great detail.
Yeah, I would actually rock that all the time.
Right?
I wear hats too often.
I thought that was a pretty, so it was, ever since putting that out, tons of fun feedback, which has been very cool. Very, very cool.
Love it. If you guys have any other feedback, you know where to find us. You can find us on Instagram at Beauty Sports Talk, on TikTok at Beauty Sports Talk, Twitter at _Beauty Sports. Reach out to Addie or myself on Instagram if you really like. Cowie14 and Addie Miles Abbott. Am I right?
You got it.
Bingo. There's a few accounts. Have you deleted the other ones?
Nope. They're still up there. And ask me how they got up there. No clue. No idea.
It was a Saturday night in university.
Yeah. Someone trying to use my name to do some questionable things, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, got a bunch of rando accounts on there. But yeah, normally we do that at the end of the show. That's nice to get it done at the top of the show.
I know I might do it again at the end.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Rattle it off. But just like now, I've got it ingrained in my brain.
Yeah. It does come out very easily now.
I know, right? It's almost like if we ever get to a point on the show where we've got some like commercials.
Yes.
I can't wait for us to find a way to segue to the commercial. And then rattle it off in our brains. I can't wait for that.
I'm with you.
If you want a new mattress.
Like we're saying the commercial. I thought like you segueing into like a commercial.
No. Like we're the commercial. But for some reason, it's like, did you see that layup in WNBA last night? And I'd be like, speaking of laying up, have you laid down on your new mattress?
That is.
See?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. I love how you went to mattress. That's a really good one. Let's try the most random commercials. Let's bring it on.
And also found a way to segue very nicely. Very
super nice.
Yeah. So if any mattress sponsors are out there, I don't need a new one, but maybe you do.
You know what?
You're in the market.
I'm in the market.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
I'm in it.
Anyways, that was a random start to the show.
That was super random. For sure.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. We're super happy to have you here at the Beauties Sports Desk. Speaking of basketball.
Yeah. I know. Is your heart in two pieces or one today? Did it heal overnight?
No, it didn't. But I will say my heart was completely full watching the amount of basketball that I have in the last 3-4 days. I just like cannot believe the level that these women are at. Like it just blows my mind. And every single time I see you, I talk to you about it and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to meet your Uncle Garth.
Oh yeah, Garth's a basketball guy.
Garth is a basketball guy. Gotta meet Garth. But you know, it's one of those things of, you know, the Aces were playing Seattle. Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked a ton about those two teams. Sue Bird's last game.
Yep.
You know, and it was down to the last second. Like, and then everybody in the press conference at the end was like, you know, this is such a weird feeling, right? Sue Bird's last game, she's done. Mm-hmm. But we're moving on. Like it's a really weird feeling. Everybody hugging her on the floor, crowd cheering, thank you, Sue. Instead of one more year, it was thank you, Sue. She was super emotional. It was so entertaining. It's crazy.
Well, and you even say like within the last second, the game changing, right? I didn't watch the game live. I watched lots of recaps on Instagram. And it is one of those things. You think about sometimes when you've beaten friends in sports and you want to celebrate, but your soul tells you to wait till you get to the dressing room because you can't when they're there. And that would be that exact same thing. Is like it needed to be her stage, even though you're celebrating that you're moving on. Oh,
and that was you know, Jackie Young pulls up a layup to, you know, essentially win it for Vegas. But then Chelsea Gray was like one of the best parts of that whole game was the amount of people sending out tweets just being like, Chelsea bleeping Gray.
Yeah.
Chelsea Gray. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she is just so clutch.
Yeah, remember when Kelsey Plum had her presser and that's what she said? I don't care what anyone else says.
Yeah, it's Gray.
Yeah.
It's Gray. She's the...
And the reason being exactly to that point. When it matters, she's a game changer. She's the one that you want with the ball. She's the one... Like, she's just a big game, big moment player.
Oh, like... You just laughed a little bit. You just like sat there and laughed because at the beginning of the game, it was all Stewie. It was all Brianna Stewart. Oh my gosh, she couldn't miss. Jump back, fade away, like was running back to her end before it even went in. Like absolutely unbelievable. She couldn't miss. It was insane. And then, she kind of lost it. Kind of I'd say in the fourth, and then it was just like a switch went off in Chelsea Gray, and it was over. It was so entertaining. It was so good. And then Vegas advances to the WNBA final. It's a big celebration, and then in pure Becky Hammond fashion, goes, "Oh, and by the way, A'ja Wilson's MVP." And everybody goes bananas. I'm like, that's the right way to do it. Yeah. Hang on to that information and be like, oh yeah, just quick, one more thing before we get on the bus. By the way, that girl right there, league MVP. Let's go. Becky knows how to do it.
She does. She does know how to do it. Do you how do you feel now about Michelle and I saying that Vegas was going to win?
Yeah, I'm super happy you brought that up. Super happy. Now that I got to go for Connecticut because that's just how we roll.
Yeah, well, we can't be on the same
We
team.
can't.
It's just not how that works.
How would someone win? You know what I mean? We have to be on opposite teams.
Very true.
But yeah, there's a lot of swag going around that Aces dressing room. You can't deny that.
I know, right? And you think about like when you talk about teams, and like we've talked about that with the Canadian women's national team. The teams find a way. We can talk about women's worlds. They found a way.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to think that they would lose. It's really hard to think. But also, you're pretty confident that Chicago is going to beat Connecticut too. So can't take anything away from them. We'll see.
That's what Bonner said in her presser. She's like, a lot of people wrote us off. She's like, don't you dare write us off yet. Like, we're cooking. And they did. In the fourth, they kept Chicago, who has Allie Quigley, Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, Kalia Copper, has these incredible women, and they kept them to 5 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
To go to the WNBA final. Yeah. Like, that is pretty substantial. So I'm... After watching, because they thumped Chicago the game before.
Yeah, hugely.
Thumped.
Big time.
I watched it and I was like...
gap. It was wild.
It's brutal. It was brutal. And then I was like, I think it was Holly Rowe went and interviewed Kalia Copper after the end of the game. And she goes, so why do you think you guys came out so relaxed in a game to go to the WNBA finals? And Kalia's looking around. She's like, I don't know. And she's like looking around, and then the interviewer, I think it was Holly Rowe, goes, thanks for your time. Like, it was one question. I almost died.
We also might need some new voices sometimes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I think part of the reactions we see sometimes are exactly that. Like,
oh yeah,
why are you asking me that, Holly?
Yeah, Holly. Holly. Yeah. You know how I feel here.
Yeah, you made some weird comments even during the WNBA draft. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Just like, a little questionable sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. And they're at every a couple new voices in there wouldn't hurt. That's for sure.
No, it wouldn't
that
hurt.
Is for sure.
Did you see? I'm trying to find her on Instagram right now, but I can't remember what account I saw it on. Did you see Candace Parker's presser at the end of it?
Won't cheat the game.
Cheat. I was like, what was her word? She said,
cheat the game. Yeah.
Cheat. I liked that because we've talked about that in the past too, where Especially when you're right now in the landscape where if you've been in a game for a long time as a woman, you were one of those foundational pieces. You built it kind of. Mm-hmm. And we've seen some examples of people who, for lack of better terms, have cheated the game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I listened to that presser a couple of times because I'm going to be straight up. I'm a big Chicago Sky fan, and I was super disappointed in how Candace Parker ended that game. She didn't shake anybody's hand. She walked right off the court. The buzzer went, and she was in the locker room already. So from a standpoint of me watching that, I was pretty not super happy about the way that she responded at the end of that game. I get that it's super emotional, but you know that every camera is watching you right now.
And
every single kid. And, you know, you lost the game. You lost the game fair and square. Yeah. You didn't. And so I liked her comment about not cheating the game because I think it is true. I think there are some people that take too long to retire. But I'm a little bit mad at Candace right now.
Yeah. No,
to be quite frank, like
no,
you know,
and totally fair because I think I mean you can revert back to even our coaching this spring, and that was the messaging. That's just the messaging at this desk every time we sit down, whenever we talk, however you and I carry ourselves around the world.
Right.
Is at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yep, that's right.
And that's a lot of disrespect for the game. And for your teammates and for your opponents. And that is hard to swallow. And I think, you know, we've seen examples of that kind of reaction and behavior in some different situations in different sports over the years. And you always, or more often than not, you always see someone come back and say, regret.
Yeah, that's,
I regret doing it.
You know, and I hope, you know, that she stayed back and, you know, congratulated because they were talking about Connecticut and, you know, they had to pack for 7 days because if they won, now they're getting a chartered straight off to Vegas, right? Because it's Sunday night. So they got to get there. They got to get prepared and ready to go. So they said they were talking about, you know, they had to be whatever. So you'd think that they'd have to meet up somewhere underneath. And that would be my hope is that she met up with everybody and congratulated them and, you know, said something after. But man, she was like a rocket. She was out of there. And even the announcers were like, well, it looks like Candace Parker's already she's gone.
She's in the shower.
And I was like, there's no way. And yep,
sure enough.
She gone.
No kidding.
She gone.
That's disappointing.
So Chicago, they played well enough to win in the first 3 quarters, but it showed very quickly. They couldn't and for Chicago to win, I truly believe that Allie Quigley needs to be hitting
bombs all night.
And she wasn't. She was fighting the ball. So it was going to be is what it is. But unrestricted free agents, Sloot, Quigley, Parker, you know, it could look very different in Chicago next year. Yeah. Very, very different.
Yeah, and a lot of them come back to try for the 2. Yeah, that might be a big shakeup.
Yeah, that's right. Especially with, you know, and what made me think of that is with, you know, don't want to cheat the game, right? Like it's not like I know Vandersloot and Quigley, and they'll be back for sure. But Parker is a definite question mark in my mind.
Oh, I think that's exactly what she's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get to that point. And it's really hard to have that presser after that scenario where you don't start to question.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Entirely different answer if they would have won.
Well,
right?
yeah.
It's like, yeah, so how you feeling about next season? Heck yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
did you see us? Yeah, like.
You crushed. Yeah. So
I think we should have a 3-point contest.
We should.
Yeah, we could go to like the YMCA or something, or maybe there's a basketball net somewhere around here. I don't even own a basketball. Do you?
I for sure do.
Really?
I just don't know where it is.
Okay, I know a phys ed teacher who has a whole gym. We could
that's right. Yeah, just go to that gym.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, that's right. We should.
Yeah,
we'll invite Michelle. Oh God.
Oh,
just light us
we
up.
should do. We could have 2 versus 1. We still
Okay,
lose,
yeah, no,
probably.
yeah, we,
Like unless we had luck on our side.
yeah.
So funny story about Garth, my Uncle Garth. My Aunt Barb, my Uncle Garth live across the street from a junior high. And so when we spent a ton of time there when we were kids. And my Uncle Garth would take us over to the junior high, my cousin Kiefer and I, to play basketball. And so that's where I learned how to play basketball. And my Uncle Garth, to teach you how, so you see lots of photos where you have like your straight hand to guide the ball. Anyways, his words, and I know lots of people say like grab the cookie from the cookie jar.
Right.
His thing always used to be pick your nose and wave goodbye.
Yeah. That's awesome.
When you're shooting.
Pick your nose
and wave goodbye.
See you later. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I haven't practiced that for like 15 years at minimum, so it's probably not super pretty looking, but
oh man,
we should. Michelle Sung, we're
definitely.
inviting you for a 3-point contest, me and Addie versus you.
Yeah. Here we go. I cannot wait. We're literally going to text her right after this. So yeah, finals, Aces, Connecticut.
Yeah, who would have thought that?
Wild. You've got Aces, I've got Connecticut.
Yeah.
Battle Royal.
Aces in
Whoever loses has to buy
tall cans.
tall cans.
Okay. Aces in, we're not needing to do that.
Ooh.
I was going to say that's the only way we can both take the aces. if we differ on
yeah.
aces and 4.
You know what? I think I would go with Connecticut just because I really enjoyed Bonner's energy.
Okay. We're going with it.
Dewana Bonner. I liked her energy.
We were talking about, before we hit record today, we were like, so there's a lot of like really hard names.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about this before. You have like one of the easier names in the world, probably. If someone screws up Miles, oof, I question.
Yeah. I will tell you a funny name that I got called before after you're done.
God, okay. But there are some so very hard names. Like,
very hard names.
I think to all you expecting mothers and fathers out there, when you are naming your children, consider people like us. What if they're a superstar one day in whatever right they're in?
Yeah.
And someone has to be like, I got to call up Dewana.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, now that we know, it sounds great, but there's some
Yeah.
hard freaking names.
It is. And I love that you're moving into Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, on
Jabeur. In tennis, that's tough. That's a toughie. But I'll tell you this one story. So we're playing in U of S, and there was a girl on my team named Chantal Despigliere. So like super French, whatever name. So I assisted her goal, and in U of S, I guess they know French. So they're like, goal scored. Despigliere. Like super like energy, attitude. All this stuff. And then they're like, assisted by Addie Millsy. My whole team was like, what?
How do you screw up?
Addie Millsy. We all just were like, that can't be real. So every Facebook, every account was Addie Millsy.
Oh.
Which then had an Adeline Millsy for, it just went absolutely
Spiraled
wild.
out of control.
Yeah, Chantal Despigliere, Addie Millsy.
How do you, I guess.
Oh, man, it was bad.
I also think, like, I know Alicia, like Alicia, maybe isn't, like, phonetically easy. But I've got all sorts of shit.
Yeah, hey?
Like, how you get Allison
Whoa.
from Alicia is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
There's no end. Especially when you're in your penalty box and you're like, dude, ask me next time.
Yeah, just say,
I'm right here.
is this?
Hey, how do you say your name?
Yeah.
Allison Cowison. It's like, also, my mom really wouldn't have loved me if she named me that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Allison Cowison. Gross.
Oh,
Sorry to all the Allison Cowison. Actually, there's not. I don't know if there's any real Cowisons in the world that I don't. Well, I'm sure there are, but
yeah,
not
it is a
super
very
common name.
unique name for sure. But yeah,
rabbit hole.
we definitely started talking about that when Ons Jabeur.
Yeah.
Ons Jabeur. That's a unique name for sure. Iga Switeck and Ons Jabeur.
I know, Iga Switeck. And
playing in the finals.
And that's the other one we said. So it's spelled Swiatek.
Yeah.
It looks like Swietek.
Yeah.
But when the announcers say it, it sounds like Swiatek.
Svian. There's an N.
There's a N. All of a sudden that I turns into an N. This is why my niece is 7. She's just started grade 2. And we found my sister's journal. This is a random podcast of me telling stories.
Love it.
Found my sister's journal from when she was in grade 2. My mom was cleaning out some stuff in her house. And so Avery was trying to read her mom's journal. And obviously when you're in grade 2, you write really phonetically. And that's what I was trying to explain to her. I can't remember what words. And then that's all she said to me. Reading and writing is so hard, actually. Like, it is, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
It is, because you have these such random words and letters, and it doesn't spell that. It's like, well, trickster, it actually does.
Yeah. You just have to memorize that and just keep it in the bank.
Yeah, just all of a sudden recognize that IA turns into an N when you announce it.
Yeah.
Swiatek.
Iga Switeck. And that's, so if there is one thing about Iga Switeck and Ons Jabeur playing against each other in the final, if Iga wins this, she's already had a completely star-studded year.
Yeah.
To win this would essentially launch her into that next category.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, she has just had... it reminds me a lot of when Naomi Osaka came on the scene.
Oh, yeah.
And everything was like, she couldn't lose. Yeah. She couldn't lose.
Yeah.
And then, kind of this, same thing of, Serena's now done.
Yep.
Officially posted her picture of her sleeping in her bed ever so nicely, sleeping in the morning. It now puts her in that category of like star-studded women's tennis, in my opinion. Like, before it was just like proving her way along. Now this is kind of getting closer to the end of the season. If she wins this, it is going to be that next level, in my opinion.
Yeah, so when I was watching the Iga's match against Jessica Pegula, the announcer made a comment, and this is, again, kind of piggybacking off of Serena being done, and they were making comments about just how dominant Serena's serve was, and that's been talked about to the nth degree.
Right.
And it was. Mm-hmm. Made an interesting comment. So if any of you listening are like super avid tennis people, I would love for you to reach out and tell me more.
Absolutely.
Because she said, this generation of tennis players gets broken, like their service gets broken far more than the previous generation of tennis players. And I thought, I don't know how to take that. Are you saying that they are less good at serving? Or are you saying that they're better at returning? Is that a knock on this generation's tennis in comparison to previous generation's tennis? Or what did that mean? I wanted to pause the TV and say, excuse me, please elaborate.
Yeah, please continue that thought, because are they comparing them to Serena?
Well, I'm not sure. It was like, the comment was Serena's serve was so dominant.
Yeah. And then maybe that
generation. And then it moved into this generation seems to get broken more. Their serve seems to get broken more. And so was it a direct comparison to Serena, or was that, then why use the term generation?
Yeah. Then why not use
then it's everyone other than Serena?
Yeah. Serena verse.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I don't know. So if you are a super avid tennis fan and player and have watched for, years and years and years, maybe you could add some color to that for me, because I thought, I don't know how to take that comment.
Yeah, no, very, very good point, because I always try to watch serve speed, and there doesn't seem to be, like, of course, like when you go back and you look at Serena's, but it's not like you look at Naomi Osaka and say her serves are not Iga Switeck. You don't look at them and go, okay, well, those are layups, right? It's like So I wonder if they're maybe even giving more credit to like the agility of players to be able to move across the line. And
could be. It just seemed like, contextually, I wasn't entirely sure what she was saying.
If you are a tennis person, reach out. We'd love to have you on the show.
Me. Yeah.
That would be super fun. Super fun.
A tennis person. That would be fun.
Yeah.
We find ourselves a tennis person.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many, like, when you get into the nitty gritty of tennis, like it was that one episode, this podcast I was listening to, they were talking about like the actual training behind tennis and how I don't want to say like the smarts or the intellectual side of tennis, like when you get into that higher level is like mind-blowing stuff from a coaching perspective. Yeah. Because skills will get you so far, but then it's reading the player, knowing the other team's like other players' tendencies, right? Like you're trying to actually read the body language of the person, of the court where you're playing. Like it's next level, absolute next level.
Well, they were saying that in Serena's opening match, right? The announcer was saying like if she needs to return the ball behind her because Serena's immediate reaction after she hit a ball was to run across the court. Kind of that cover more ground thing, right? And it was like if she would return the ball behind her, she would have more success. Also think interesting, I read something a while ago on divers, Olympic divers, and they say the same thing there. Like you think about standing 10 meters above the water, which if you smack that the wrong way turns into feeling like concrete real quick.
Yep.
And having to jump off and do a gazillion one spinoramas, loop-de-loops, and then perfectly land with no splashes.
Yeah.
It's like 30% muscle memory and 70% have the gonads to do it.
It's true. I've seen people train for diving, and that is something
Did you see those like twirly machines they put them on?
Yep.
Isn't that cool?
It's at Pan Am. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
it is crazy.
Yeah,
and
you
then
got into the swim world, I suppose.
Yes, little swimmers. But how the one I saw too was like absolutely clean execution of just a simple dive. Yeah. So it's like they jump and it was in slow motion. They were like still in the air and then they just went right down. I was like, what? I'd be limbs all over the place and they were just like swans diving into the water. It was unbelievable.
You're just practicing rocket ship. And when you're little and they make you go on one knee on the side of the pool and then they'd stand up and just, oh God.
All that stuff that Harry's doing right now.
Yep, I can cannonball.
That's right. So when we were talking last week too about announcements in the PWHPA, Montreal, Nova Scotia.
Shocker.
We called it.
I don't want to shake my head, but to say that, a little teaser, Montreal and Nova Scotia for the announcement tomorrow, and the announcement tomorrow is Montreal and Nova Scotia.
The teaser's the announcement. They gave it away. They gave it all away. And those were two massive locations in the PWHPA Secret Dream Gap Tour, so that's awesome. They will be going back. And I think one of the things I'm most excited to see about this year, hockey-wise, the PWHPA definitely want to see their rosters.
Me too.
Want to see if their rosters are consistent throughout the year, like if these women are on these rosters the entire way through.
Yeah.
And then to see if there is any jump back between the PHF and the PWHPA. Those are my top three.
Do you think the PHF will put in place rules?
I don't know.
Where you can't do that?
I would, you'd almost assume that they would have to. But I just can't believe those girls from Montreal that are on the new Montreal Force team that were a part of the PWHPA for so long are just not going to be in those showcases. I think for me, that's the hardest part, is to think of those women not being a part of those PWHPA teams. But if they're they are in the PHF, so that's great, the Montreal Force team, but then it just makes me excited about the talent that they're going to be bringing in, because those women were phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Like the talent they're bringing in is huge.
Well, so last week we talked a little bit about the Worlds and Finland.
Oh, right.
Lost to Japan in a shootout in the placement game, which leaves Japan in Group A and Finland in Group B for the next Worlds.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about an entire drop from the very top to the very bottom in, what's that, 3 years? 2 years.
Oh,
What happened?
I can't even fathom
We had a Czechia-Switzerland bronze medal game.
Yeah.
Czechia winning their first bronze medal, coached by, what was that lady's name? She's an old Canadian. Oh, old, that's the wrong word.
I don't know.
You'll recognize her. She played on the national team when we were like Cassie Campbell days, Cheryl Pounder days. I think she was a D. Oh boy.
I don't know.
Coach of the Czechia women's national team. Look that up.
And yeah, like that was very, very, very surprising. I'm still, and obviously you can tell, I'm quite speechless towards Finland, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, you think they what we thought was going to be their first ever gold medal that kind of got robbed in all those oddball circumstances against the U.S. However many years ago that was, not that long ago.
Right.
To now, what's her name?
Carla McLeod.
Carla McLeod.
Yeah. Carla McLeod.
You would have got there, wouldn't you?
I would have.
No.
We'd have looped our way back around to get Carla McLeod. That's fantastic.
To now losing in a placement game to Japan. Well, very cool for Japan.
Very cool for Japan.
But, whoa.
Interesting storyline to be had there with just a different team being in Group A. It's been the same teams for so long, and it was kind of that same conversation when Sweden didn't make it because they were also a very dominant force for a long time and then completely fell off. This is clearly a sign that things need to shake up in Finland.
Oh, clearly.
That guy has been coaching there
for 101 years.
For 101 years.
Well, it feels like 101 years. But to where I rabbit holed on the Worlds is the fact that the PWHPA's announcement had said from multiple countries, and so it's piqued my interest.
Yeah,
because we've seen lots of strong Finnish players come to North America. What does that look like?
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how, because then what was that episode we did? Nora Ratty?
Yeah.
Right? Like, where's Nora?
Yeah. Yep.
You lose in a shootout. Where's Nora?
Yeah, exactly.
The number one goalie in the world.
Yep.
World had a disagreement with the coach. She gone.
Yep.
Now your team, the World, you are in Group B. That's like, I'm speechless. You know, Canada figured out a way to get it done. You know, what a year for Team Canada. That group is just absolutely unbelievable.
Isn't it fun to watch? It is so fun to watch them play hockey.
Yeah.
As hockey people, as hockey fans, I haven't watched a hockey team have that much fun playing hockey in a very, very long time.
They just love each other so
Literally.
much. They love each other so much. And, you know, I'm sure like Hockey USA, I'm sure they're close, but you can just tell there's something different about this Team Canada team.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And so 2-1, they ended up winning gold, USA silver, Czech bronze. But it does leave a lot of questions in the sense of like what's coming up here in the next little bit. You know, cool, very, very successful tournament for Japan.
Super
very successful
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
But Finland losing it should be red flags for that organization. It should be red flags for that. That's crazy. That is crazy.
I texted you like not many minutes after you left last week.
No.
I was like, what?
And then I was like, what?
In a shootout. So that was a 0-0 game. Mm-hmm. And the final score was 1-0 Japan in a shootout.
Yeah. Like it's not it's comical, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like
No,
it's like what?
It's like a head scratcher big time.
Like what the heck are we even talking about here?
And when we saw like Canada in that Worlds, there was moments there where even it looked like the U.S. had the momentum, right? It was like Canada scratched and clawed their way to the gold medal game and just continued to get better that entire tournament.
Yeah.
And then again, just a level of confidence and trust that it was like, whoa. And, you got to give all the credit in the world. Like that last couple minutes when Kendall Coyne-Schofield has essentially an open net and all of a sudden Anne Renee Debian is like, nope.
No, thanks.
Goalies amaze me because I can barely touch my toes. Never mind across the net. And then MPP lays out. We're used to her scoring golden goals. Lays out and blocks a shot. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, this team. They're so team.
Yeah.
Love it.
And it is interesting when like I'm coaching younger girls now, like the U18 level, and it's so fascinating to be able to be on the other side of it now and be like, no, it's the teams that win.
Yep.
It's the teams. I don't care how much your friends, family, whatever talk about points. It means 0. The teams win. The teams that love each other, the teams that would do anything for each other, the teams that don't care about who gets what are the teams that win.
Yeah, that forget. Oh, I say it at work too often sometimes, but check your ego, man. Like, leave it there.
Yeah, legit.
And you're right. The teams who can forget what the score sheet says, like and like that as a prime example. Oh, or so MPP doesn't score the golden goal. It's like it's not even she doesn't care. It's not about her. It's about that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they had an absolute team effort. Brianne Jenner with 2 goals in that final. She's clutch, man.
Oh, and the goal the one where she comes around the top of the circles and snipes Farchis, like give me a break.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like it's obviously storylines. People talk about that stuff all the time. Like, but the person that would be the happiest for Brianne Jenner would be
everyone else.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody would be just so jacked for her.
Yeah.
Or anybody. Yeah. You just know they care.
I know.
And they know they're a part of something special.
I just also love that like you see their camaraderie off the ice, and like they have lots of TikToks. And also, if you guys don't follow Emily Clark on TikTok, do yourself a favor and do it. She's funny.
Come on.
She's funny, man.
Yeah.
I think she's from Saskatoon originally. There's a lot of funny people in Saskatoon.
Come on.
Yeah. But
funny
anyway,
town, eh?
Funny town. 80 Millsy.
They keep it real.
The culture there. And man, they got some hardware to show for it, which looks epic.
Yeah.
Epic. Yeah. Super cool.
So it's, it's been one of those weeks of, to be honest, when, we watched the gold medal game last episode. Since then, it's been the WNBA playoffs. There's unbelievable tennis being played. And I think the takeaway from this week in the sports world for me is just like the athleticism of watching these women has just been mind-blowing to me this week. Yeah. I'm like, holy shit. Not saying that they weren't before, but I'm just saying like really focusing and dialing in and being very present in sports this week. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah, playoffs puts a highlight on that, right?
Oh.
Your comment, you walked in here today and your comment was, anyone who says that there is no entertainment value in the WNBA is watching it with their eyes closed.
That's right. Oh, what I would do to be courtside at those games. And I'm watching the fans at these games when I'm, league pass, get it.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the fans, and oh my God, they're in it. Like, I would do anything to be courtside at one of those games, I swear, because the energy is electric.
Yeah.
Electric.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Love
So
that.
yeah, it's been another amazing week. We've got a ton of fun stuff coming up with Beauties.
Yeah, some fun ideas. Want to make sure that we keep it relevant, but keep it entertaining. So we're throwing around some ideas of what that could look like. Probably some more beers with Beauties. You might just have some one-on-one times with you and a guest or me and a guest. We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah.
But we're going to throw some wrenches out there and see what sticks. If you guys have any suggestions of what you want to see or hear from Addie and I, please let us know. And it can be something totally outrageous. You know, it doesn't need to be calendar driven of sports. If it's a random challenge you think would be funny for us to do, or, you know, drawing some topics out of a hat and talking about them without any kind of notice, whatever that, I don't care what it is. We don't care what it is. Send those our way, because we need to have a little shake up, have some fun on here.
Yeah, that's right. And it's exciting. I love talking about it. I love hearing from everybody, talking about it everywhere. And I was telling Cowie too, I was at a wedding and I had 3 people that I had no idea who they are at the wedding come up and say that they listen to the show and they love it. And here's some ideas. And I make my daughter listen to it so she knows what's going on. And I'm like, this is just the coolest feeling ever. It's just amazing. So what a week. But
what a week.
Yeah. Unreal.
I know.
But in pure Beauties fashion, Cowie, final words.
A big thank you. If this is your first episode, welcome to Beauties Sports. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Please continue to come back. If you are a repeat listener, we know we have a big slew of avid listeners that come back each week. We appreciate you. We love you. One of the best ways to support the show is by rating and reviewing the podcast. So head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, and rate that 5 stars only. And leave us a nice, lovely message if you're enjoying your time listening to Addie and I. Addie, my friend, it's been a slice. I can't wait to do it again next week.
Thank you all, and we will see you next week.